morning. It's Miss Lynn and Farmer Larry, and it's a beautiful day out today, although I think we're going to get some rain. But today we're making a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful little appetizer, or something that's fun for kids to make too. So we're making this wonderful little raspberry topped cheesecake with graham cracker crust. And again, we're using one of our favorite tools of the kitchen, which is our mini muffin pan. Now know that this is a recipe that you can actually make a bigger version of, but I like to make the mini muffin pans because we have a lot of friends to share with here at the farm, and so we are actually serving this as a sweet appetizer to our friends at the farm, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make it, and boy is it yummy. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we'll move this out of the way, is we've got to have graham cracker crumbs. Now you can make any kind of crust for this. You can use pie crust and cut them into small pieces and put them in like we've done oftentimes, but today we're going to use graham crackers. And these are actually cinnamon graham crackers, but you can use any kind of graham crackers you want. It doesn't really matter. We're going to use our handy food processor, which you need. You really, really need one. We had a Cuisinart food processor that we burned out after about 9 years. And we picked up this little Hamilton Beach on a whim, and it has been fabulous. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 6 full-size graham cracker cookies and put them in here. I will tell you there's 7 to a package, so the extra one you're just gonna have to eat, I guess. And we're gonna put it in there, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna grind it up. We're gonna let this do the work for us. Now, if you don't have a food processor, or before you buy your food processor you don't have one, you could take it and just put it in a box in a bowl and just squish it up. But this is super easy and fast. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And we're going to put that right in the top. And then we're going to melt 3 tablespoons of butter. Have that ready to go in next. We've got our butter ready. All we did was put 3 tablespoons in a measuring cup, put it in the microwave, 30 seconds, done. So we're going to attach this and we're going to grind it up. We're going to, might need a little more grinding. You can cut off. We're going to add butter. I like to add the butter while it's mixing because it incorporates it just for you. That is perfect. It makes the perfect crust. Make sure you take the blade out before you start working with it because that little guy is super sharp. And then you make this perfect little, it's just buttered cookies with a little bit of sugar. What better crust can that be? Take a spoon, and what you're going to do is make sure you oil, always, even if it's Silverstone like this and non-stick, always oil your mini muffin pans because it keeps it from sticking. And the worst thing you can do is make a beautiful cookie and not be able to get out of the pan. So then we're going to take just a spoonful, pop it right in the bottom. Not a lot, just enough to cover the bottom. Don't worry about measuring it out. We'll stir this up a little bit. I see that there's some butter here. Stick to the side. And we're going to just pop this out. These 6 graham crackers should be enough to fill in 24. Now remember, you're not filling the whole thing up with graham crackers. You're just making a little crust along the bottom. So don't get too carried away because we've got a lot more to add. Oh yeah. We're going to make the cream cheese mix next for the cheesecake. Then we're going to put on a raspberry topping. Did Larry ever tell you that I'm a messy cook? Okay, I am. Put on a raspberry topping and then add our little real raspberry to the top of that. So stay tuned. The next thing we're going to do after we get this all filled in is we're going to take a measuring spoon, just the back of the measuring spoon, and just push it down, okay? So this is what's going to make the bottom crust. Remember, you need to kind of push it down to form the butter. That one's a little low. Form the butter. We're going to pop it in the oven at 350 for about 7 minutes just to make it firm and easier to get out. And then we'll be right back. Okay, while we're warming up our oven, because we forgot to preheat it to 350, and we're going to bake our little graham cracker shells. Now we're going to make the cheesecake filling, and it's super easy. What you need is 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. And we'll plop it right in here. That's an official culinary term, by the way, plopping. Make sure that you get all the cream cheese off your package. And I do it by just taking the aluminum and kind of scraping it on the edge because there's an awful lot that gets stuck to the package. We're going to put in 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. You can use low fat if you want to, whatever you like. And then we're going to take 1 lemon, and we need the zest of the lemon and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Now, let me tell you about zesting lemons. The zest of lemons makes things taste fabulous. So don't scrimp on the lemon. Wash it off first if you want to. Make sure you take the sticker off because they always have one. And then what I use is you can use a zester or a grater or whatever it is you have. I have a micro grater that I use for cheese. So this is extremely sharp. And what I've tried doing it this way, and I've found that I take off too much of the white. Now on a lemon, the membrane part under here is rather bitter. So you just want to stick with the top yellow part. So I have learned to take my micrograter and very carefully go across the top. Make sure you don't pull it toward your wrist and, slice a wrist. It is super sharp. So all I do is just grate off the top. I like to do it this way because I can see when I get to the white part, and I make sure that I don't go too much further than that because we don't want bitter, we want zesty. All right, so we're going to take a tablespoon of zest, which equals to, by the way, 1 lemon. And then in order to get the juice, all you need to do is just roll it on your cutting board. Take a large knife, not necessarily a small one, cut it in half. I have this wonderful juicer that my mother gave me, so I love it. All you do is press down. You can just squeeze it if you want to, doesn't matter. Now remember, with lemons, when you have a whole lemon, you're gonna get anywhere from 1/3 of a cup to a fourth to a third of a cup of lemon juice from a fresh lemon. You only need a teaspoon. So what are you gonna do with all the extra? I'll show you. One thing that we did last year was we saved these little guys and we planted in them, which was really kind of cool because all our beets came from lemons. You put dirt in your seed and then you plant this and it's biodegradable, so that's always good. You need to compost if you don't use it. Now, our lemon juice was quite a bit. We only need 1 teaspoon, so let's get our teaspoon out. 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. We'll put it right in. And all our zest from our lemon, which is about 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. Okay, we're going to put that in. Now, what do we do with the extra lemon? I always keep a little jar, and Farmer Larry laughs at me because I collect all these little glass jars this used to be a Capers jar, and I save the lemon juice, put it in the fridge. I save the extra, drop it in my drinking water. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. Now make sure you label the top, because if you don't, you might not know what that is in your refrigerator, and you do want to know it's lemon juice. So I just label the top, stick it in the refrigerator, get it out when I need it, okay? So that's our lemons. So we added our whole package of cream cheese, a tablespoon of lemon zest, a teaspoon of lemon juice. We're going to add a tablespoon of cornstarch. And what does cornstarch do? It actually thickens up the mixture. So we're going to add a full tablespoon of cornstarch right in there. And then we're going to start processing it. So I'll see you in a minute. But before you process it, don't forget the extra 2 tablespoons of sugar. Thank you, Farmer Larry. You don't want to forget those because you're going to need a little extra sugar in there. So now we're ready to go. Okay, so we've added our cream cheese, 8 ounces of cream cheese, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of lemon zest, a teaspoon of lemon juice. We've whipped it up really good for about a minute. And now it's really important that you do this exactly like that first. The other day I made it and I changed it around, not so good. So now we're going to add 1 egg. So we're just going to crack our egg in there. We're going to spin it around some more and make sure it whips up the egg thoroughly. So let's go ahead and do that. Then we're going to add one of our southern favorite things, which is Karo syrup. 1/3 cup of Karo syrup. So once that's combined really well, you're going to just go ahead and pour out your Karo syrup. Don't worry. Karo syrup is a southern specialty. It's something we just live by. So we're going to take that 1/3 of a cup, pour it in. Make sure you scrape out your container because there's a lot left in there and you don't want to forget about it. And then you're just going to mix it until it's combined, okay? stop our mixer for a minute because remember, whenever you're mixing, especially cheeses and things like that, or any kind of sugar and butter blend, is you want to make sure you scrape down the sides, especially with this mixer, which is not my favorite because it works better with large quantities and small quantities. So we're going to start it up. Just 1 second. Finish it up. I'll show you what it looks like because, oh my gosh, it smells delicious. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Our little wonderful little graham cracker crusts are out of the oven after 7 minutes at 350. Our wonderful cheesecake mixture is ready to go. And oh my God, it smells so good. This lemon zest is unbelievable. So what we're going to do, you don't have to let them cool because we're going to pop them right back in the oven. So what we're going to do is we're going to just top them off with a little bit of the cream cheese or cheesecake mixture. It's going to turn into cheesecake. And then we're going to put them back in the oven at 350 for 17 minutes. Now, when I say 17 minutes, that's my oven at 17 minutes. Put them in, set your timer for 15 minutes, take a look at them, and if you needed 2 extra minutes, then add those on. But remember, everybody's oven is different. No matter what we say, they're all a little different. So whenever I cook things, I always set it at the earliest amount of time, open it up, take a look, pull it out, put it back in if you need to, okay? So I'm going to finish filling these in. We're going to pop them in the oven for 17 minutes, or in your case 15 minutes, and then watch them. And then they're going to come up beautifully puffed up, and we're going to show you what we do next. All right, we're back. Our beautiful little cheesecakes are out of the oven, and we're ready to do the next step. Now, when they first come out of the oven, they're going to be puffy, but then as they cook, they sink down a little bit. That's normal. Do not be concerned. All right, so we've got them in the pan. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a topping. Now, you can eat these just plain if you want to because they are super yummy. Put a little whipped cream on them, do whatever, but today we're making raspberry. So we bought some raspberry pie filling. Now, our pie filling, because we go through it a lot, comes in a bag. You can buy it in a can. You can make your own by taking raspberries and swirl them around in your mixer and adding a little bit of sugar, which is perfectly fine. But let me show you how we do it with pie filling. Now, if you don't want raspberry pie filling, you can use cherry or whatever you want. It doesn't really matter, but this is just one variation. So we're going to take the pie filling. We're just going to squeeze it along the top. Don't get too carried away because we found if you put too much on, all you taste is raspberry. So we're going to just do, I love raspberry. It's a perfect time of year for raspberry. So we're just going to squeeze that on. And all we did was cut a little hole in the bag. If it doesn't come in a bag for you, because we do it with large amounts, take the can, open it up, put it in a Ziploc, seal it carefully, otherwise it'll out the top, cut a little hole in the end, and it's exactly the same thing. All right? So you just take and squeeze it, put a little bit on top. Then when all of them have just a little bit of raspberry on top, this is just for super flavor. Again, you can use any variation you want. Once we have all the raspberry on top, which you can see is pretty easy to do, and as you go, just keep squeezing it down, just like any other pastry bag. We're going to put this off to the side for just a minute, because the secret to getting these out of this mini pan is a spoon. All right, so we're going to take the spoon and go all the way around, and we're just going to gently lift it out. Now, maybe you may have some, as you can see, some of the crust left in the bottom. That's just what you can eat later. No big deal. So we're going to go all the way around, lift it out, and we're going to put it in a pan because now it needs to go into the refrigerator. These are a chilled appetizer or chilled dessert or whatever you want to eat. And so it needs to go in the refrigerator for about an hour. So I just put them on a pan, and when you're finished, when it's chilled, you can take your raspberries, or you can do it right now if you want to. Put your raspberries right on top just to make it pretty. If you're doing cherry, do a cherry on top. Whatever you want on top. It's all about you and what you like. And then when you're finished, put it on a beautiful plate and serve it up. And boy, is it yummy. So these stay in the refrigerator. When they get in the refrigerator, they get hard on the bottom. So it's like biting into a little mini pie. Yummy. Go out, enjoy, make something wonderful, and get your family involved in cooking. Because what they cook, they will eat. From Miss Lynn and Farmer Larry at Fern Valley Farm, we'll see you soon.